Star Driver episode 13 review. Alright, this episode starts off basically with Takuto and Mako bickering because she's saying that Takuto is basically staying there just to basically mooch off of Sugata and to basically eat the food that they have there. But the thing is, Takuto backfires, like shoots something back at her and saying that how she stays there every morning to grab something to eat, and then she's like, oh, don't, are you implying something? And then it stopped there. He says that he's only there to make Sugata feel not lonely, which is an absolute lie. He's there to eat the food, we all know that. But yeah, most likely he probably is there too to help him, but mostly for the food. You can't lie. Let's see what else. As the story prolongs, we see that that Takuto has the RA of his room, the RA, RA, I don't know. Is it RA or raw? What is the RA actually? Tell me down there. Comment, please. Tell me what it is, 'cause I have no idea what the raw is. RA raw? All I know is it's Shinda. I think that's her name. Shinda. The girl who pilots Pageant. No, the one that controlled Sugata in the beginning, and then basically Takuto turned her into dust. Yep. Okay. So she won the kendo tournament. She's a second year. Basically, she comes to Sugata's house challenging Sugata to a match. So Sugata accepts. But the funny thing is, Sugata's like, oh, you're gonna have to face my apprentice. And then everybody's like, he has an apprentice? And then he's like, right here, he's almost stronger than me. And he's like, stand up, Takuto. And then Takuto's like, I never knew that I was your apprentice. And then the first time they face off, you see Takuto with two kendo sticks, or bokuto, whatever he has two of them. I think that was very unfair because he has two, but he does dual wielding when he's in the when he's upper voiced. But you know, it's kind of awkward having two bokutos facing off like against one. But no, that's how it is. And then Shindo, she disappears. She runs, disappears, and ends up behind him. Somehow she ends up behind him, and Sugata calls the match off. And then Shindo really wanted to face off against Sugata, but she couldn't because he didn't want to. I don't know. He didn't want to. But then she left because Sugata told her to face off Takuto one more time. She got fed up and left. Later on, Takuto was taking a bath in the hot spring. And basically Shindo ends up in there too. And then he's like, oh, why are you in here? And it's only boys bathhouse, you're gonna have to do 100 swimsuit pull-ups again. And then basically they have that little funny comedy moment. It ends, and then she disappears again. Like how she always does, disappear. And then basically we end up back in Takuto's room. We have basically she's in there too. She comes in, and then Takuto's sleeping, and she just looks at him. Takuto wakes up. He's like, ah! Basically, he flails his hands. Nobody knows why she's like in there. She comes up randomly, and then she basically said, and then Takuto's like, oh, you didn't do nothing strange to me. Then she said, yeah, I kissed you. And he's like, what? He's like, you can't do that without. You have to let me know first. Like it's like he was okay with it or something. But it was pretty funny. Yeah, so they have their little talk. Takuto asks, because she basically comes in there, and then Takuto's basically like, oh, do you like me? And then she has no answer, and he basically throws her onto the bed and tells her, is there a person that you really like? And then basically it ends right there. We end up back with the glittering stars. I think that's what they're called. I have no idea. You know, the glittering star. You know that type of deal. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, we see that girl. What is her name? I keep forgetting. No, the girl that basically was at where the shrine used to be, and then she's like, oh, glittering star, and then Shindo's like glittering star, and she's like, oh, you're the pilot of, I forgot what it was called. But yeah. And then we end up back to the thing. She finds out that she's a filament, which means she has one of the marks. And then The two guys that we found in the first episode, you know, those two guys basically beat the crap out of Takuto, but when you went to Top Revolt, when you went to Talbot and you beat the crap out of one of them, yeah, that basically, them, they're all filaments, which means they come from head families and they beta mark. And basically we end up back to the science department when they're trying to they find out a way to basically regenerate a psi body. And with this technology that they found, they choose Shinda as one of the filaments, and her psi body got destroyed by Takuto when Shinda basically controlled Sugata, and they faced up and they punched each other, blew up. So we got to this mode where they put Shinda inside the casket looking thing. And she's in there. Basically, she's in there, and then all the electricity, and they go that type of deal. Yeah. Then she's like, oh, I'm gonna be a star driver pilot, cause I can still be a star driver pilot because I love the one that I love. And then she just basically turns into her pageant. She has one. Then Takuto, basically, what always happens on the episodes, we see Sugata and Wako, and then Takuto appears. He goes, Aprivos, Saso Tojo, King of Bishorin, Tao Burn, you know, basically that. And then we see Shinda basically has the Rubis Star Sword. Basically, Takuto hits his chest like he always does, sums up Emula, Ade, and Sapphire. It was a quick fight. That was a really, really quick fight. So all I know is that Shinda ran where her side body came, ended up behind Takuto. Takuto lifted the sword like that, and she was destroyed. Basically, that was it.